Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 31st August 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. And actually there are very less number of articles today in our newspaper, and entirely our editorial had been occupied by this Olympics, but we are not going to discuss that. And next one here is in editorial page there is an article regarding economic prospects of India. So I am taking that article which is given in the front page itself. I am going to discuss both of them together, so that today there will be no article that we are going to have in our discussion from editorial part. And today is Saturday, there is no text and context, and even there is no opinion page or op-ed page. So there are very less number of articles. I am taking around 4 to 5 articles from today's paper. And from yesterday's analysis, I said that there is one important concept, that is bio E3. So we are going to see that bio E3 concept from yesterday's paper at last, because that is very important concept. There is a high chance of getting your prelims question and even mains question. So I don't want to take any choice. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the topic at last. So see here guys, first article. At 6.7% growth slid to 5 quarters low in quarter 1. So what is this article talking about? It is talking about GDP prospect. So what is this GDP? What is this GDP? Gross domestic product. Okay, what is this gross domestic product? The total value of final goods which are produced in a country within a time period of 1 year is called as GDP. And what is this GVA? Gross value added. So what is this GVA? Okay, so what is the total? This GVA is the total value of the financial goods that are produced in that year. That is called as. Okay, so what is the difference between GDP and GVA? Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so the important thing you have to know is the difference between this GDP and GVA. So GDP includes only final goods price, but GVA includes any price. So what that is about the total goods which are produced. So the what is the final value of what is the value of the goods? I'm not taking only final goods here. So whatever the value of the product which is produced within a country within 1 year of time, that is called as GVA. So this is the basic difference between this GDP and GVA. So why this article is in news? Because so our India's GDP growth had been slowed to 6.7% in quarter 1. So in year we will be having 12 months. So these 12 months are divided into 4 parts. That is called as 4 quarters. Each quarter is having 3 months. So our financial year starts from which month? April, May, June. Next July, August, September. Like that we will be dividing year into quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So here in quarter 1, the growth had been very less. In fact, we can say there is slowdown of the growth, that is to 6.7%. So actually RBI came up with expectation. So according to the RBI expectation, it said that it will be above 7, but unfortunately practically it is less than the RBI prospect. So this is the thing which mainly said. So now can you tell me why there is slowdown of growth? What are the reasons for the reduced growth? Come on, tell me. Earthquake. Okay, so because of disasters. Next. So you can note down the disasters like landslides in Wayanad and even cloudburst, even because of heat wave which affected agriculture productivity. Okay, so apart from these disasters, what might be the other reasons that led to slowdown of growth? Yes, inflation. Next. There is rising of unemployment. So whenever there is no employment, they will be not getting proper salary, so that will be not added to our GDP. Next, because of less women participation, Female labor force participation is less. It is around 35 to 37% in India. Next. Come on, you can do it. So, next. Okay, because of geopolitics, ongoing geopolitics. Next. Next. Okay, because of decreased private investment. And even we studied that there is increased flight of FPI from India. Okay, foreign reserves are going out. Next, because of increased imports. So can you tell me with which countries we are having trade deficit? Okay, China. So whenever there is increased imports, what happens? It will be obviously having impact on our economy. Next, even there is one more article in our today's newspaper which says that there is low growth in core sector. Next. Okay, that comes under even inflation only. We can include that purchasing power parity in this inflation. So these are the major reasons that led to decreased growth of our country. Okay, write down these at least 5 to 6 points, and wherever you are giving your argument, try to give relevant example or data. Right? Disaster, you can give examples of landslides in Wayanad, etc. And unemployment, rate of unemployment, you can write. And female participation, you can write report of periodic labor force survey. And geopolitics, you can give example of Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine issue. Private investment, you can add report. And flight of FPI. So recently, 2 to 3 days ago, we discussed that. There we have data. And core sector, in today's paper also we have this data of core sector. So in this way, yes, very good. Under spending is less in R&D. So each and every point you have to give examples and data so that you can make a proper answer. Okay. Okay, now let us see what this article is saying and what are the key takeaways from this article. So first one is there is declining of GDP or GDP slowdown which happened in the quarter one. So decline it is around 6.7%, and here we can understand that there are increased concerns regarding what is economic stability. So how can we sustain in the long future? And this one is even GVA is outperforming. So actually GVA growth is around 6.8% in India. So even though we are providing lots and lots of schemes and policies for the development of our economy, for example, we have a product linked incentive scheme, and even government is coming up with providing incentives to increase employment, even though your GVA is very less. So it is one of the cause of concern. And this one here is whatever the expectations we have. So RBI projected it will be like 7.1% of GDP growth, but on reality we have only 6.7. That means there is difference between the expectations and as well as reality that is seen here, so that we can understand that our economy is in very volatile. So we can't expect what is happening. And this one is even because of election impact. So chief economic advisor also comment that whenever we are increasing the election related spending also, it will be also having obviously the impact on our economy, because in this 2024 we had elections, right? Lok Sabha elections. So for this Lok Sabha elections also election related spending had been done. So because of this also one of the reason that might lead to this slow growth of economy in our country. And actually RBI is also remains like optimistic. So with the prediction of 7.1 to 7.2 of growth this year, we don't know like how we are going to achieve this. So we have to have a recent come up with the policy adjustments, and even we have to come with the taking of some steps so that we can ensure proper trends of tracking of this growth projects of GDP. And this one is even because of inflation also. This is also one reason for decreasing of our economical growth, so that we have to take proper monetary measures and fiscal measures to control this inflation. And even we have to see like markets of other countries, how they are impacting on Indian growth also. For example, you know that US came up with increasing of interest rates in their banks. So because of this, the flight of money from India to US had been happened. So it is one of the important reason for withdrawal of foreign for FPI from India. Okay, and they went to their countries. So all these things that you have to know. Clear? And tell me, what are the challenges we are facing in our economy? Fast. Tell me, what are the challenges we are facing in our economy? Challenges in Indian economy. Yes, unemployment. First one is unemployment. Next, other challenges, inflation. Next, problems in our economy, challenges of our economy. Yes, no proper technology. Next, inflation, unemployment, technology. Yes, low production, low productivity of different sectors. So here I can write primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Next, okay, underutilization of funds and schemes. Underutilization of both funds and schemes and policies. Next, yes, decreasing of FDI and FPI. Okay, so these are the things that you can see. So first one is employment challenges. And even one more problem here is our economy is majorly based on informal sector. So it is also one important problem. And even export competitiveness challenges we are facing. So whatever the policy which we are coming up for increasing of exports, we are not actually increasing those exports. Next one here is there is potential physical slippage risk, that is increasing of physical deficit. And even in our yesterday's class we discussed that Fitch and as well as Moody's, they said that India is going to face lot of problem for increasing of employment opportunities in non-farm sector. So those points also you have to see here. And next one is there is mismatch of skill and as well as labor quality. So whenever the labor who is not having the proper skill means they will be not suitable for doing the jobs. So obviously what happen if you're employing this low skilled persons, the outcome will be obviously less or poor. So it is also an important problem we are facing. And this one is income inequality is very high. So which is a coefficient that represents inequality, that is Gini coefficient. For example, you know about Phillips curve, Lorentz curve. So in the same way we are having this Gini coefficient which measures income inequality in our country, and income inequality as per 2022 and 2023 in India is 0.4 according to this coefficient. That means it is very high. And next one is there is dominance of informal sector, and even whatever the infrastructure is there like power, like transportation, logistics, we are having lots of infrastructure bottlenecks, and even you can add this technology, outdated technology that we are using, so that the production is less and productivity is also less. So here you can see this data. Niti Aayog estimates that India needs US dollars 4.5 trillion on infrastructure to sustain the growth momentum by 2040. So here whenever you are writing this kind of arguments that this is not perfect, so you have to try to give the data and report so that you can make some arguments which are valid. Okay? Yeah, see this article, title says Cyclone Asna forms over Kutch, rain lashes Gujarat. So do you know about this naming of cyclones? Who will name these cyclones? I think you might have studied in your geography. Tell me, what is the process of naming of cyclones? Every country will be giving number of names list, and cyclically that name is given to the cyclones. Okay, so identify which country gave this name Asna. Pakistan. Okay, so here you have to see after this name which is the name in the list and which country gave that name. So you have to do this also. So let us see this article. So from which subject you can connect this with your syllabus? Cyclone, where you will be studying this cyclone? Cyclone you will be studying in GS paper 1, geography, and as well as GS paper 3, disaster management. So already you have done with your world geography and Indian geography, right? So how many of you know about what are the suitable conditions for formation of cyclones? Huh? Okay, low pressure area means we need high temperature. So what is the minimum temperature need to be required? 15. Okay, so here you have to know the dimensions, like what is the meaning of cyclone. So tell me, what is a cyclone? How can you define this cyclone? Uh, Coiling? Come on, online students and YouTube students. Try to be interactive. Okay, you have to know exactly what is the definition of cyclone, which is given by IMD or World Meteorological Organization, first one. And second one, here you have to see what are the suitable conditions for formation of this cyclones. And next you have to see what is the process of formation of cyclones. And you have to see the diagram of cyclone and you have to label the parts. So what are the parts we are having? We will be having eye. Around this eye we have rain bands. Next we will be having cumulonimbus cloud, and we will be having the movement of this cyclone will be moving in anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in southern hemisphere. And next, what are the other parts? So say this after this class. And from disaster management, you have to see what will be the impact of this cyclone, and you have to draw map of India and you have to see which areas are vulnerable to this floods. And whenever, for example, here this cyclone is started means, so how this movement will be happening. Okay, so how the movement will happen, and you have to see what is this concept of landfall. Okay, in cyclone you will be getting this concept of landfall. So what is this landfall? So how this landfall will be impacting the local people or local environment, everything that you have to know. And here you have to see what are the steps. And again, steps means you have to see DM cycle. Pre-disaster, during disaster, after disaster. So what are the steps that you can take? And here you have to focus on the Sendai framework. This is very important. And you have to see even case studies from other countries, like which are the countries which are affected by these floods apart from India. So which country? Bangladesh, Japan, next. And you have to see what are the technologies they are using in other countries so that we can implement in our country to minimize the impact of disaster. Are you getting my points? So in this way, you have to study relatively so that you can increase your marks in your mains. So all these things are important. And now let us see this article. Cyclone Asna has formed over Kutch coast in Gujarat and adjoining areas of Pakistan. So this is a thing which said by IMD. And even you have to know some facts regarding IMD. What is IMD? So when it was formed, so what is the mandate? What is the role and responsibilities? Okay, you need to know all these things, which all the organizations are involved in this disaster management subject. You have to know about them also. So you have to know about IMD, you have to know about what the World Meteorological Organization, you have to know about. So who will be giving early warnings for earthquakes? Early warnings for earthquakes. Which organization? You have to know about that. And even you have to know about Sendai framework. So I will be giving you the list. Okay, by today evening I will be giving you the list, like which are the organizations that you have to know from this disaster management point of view, and you have to include those words whenever you are writing the relevant answer. Okay, so here Cyclone Asna, it is very special. Why? Because It would be the first cyclone to form in August. In the month of August, we will be seeing like less formation of the cyclones. So it is the first cyclone in August in this 2024, and especially in North Indian Ocean region since 1981. So last time, so here in the month of August in North Indian Ocean, so the cyclone which had formed in 1981. In the Arabian Sea, it was formed in 1976. So again, after how many years we got this? Around after 30 years. Okay, after more than 30 years, we had this again. So because of this, there is a high chance of getting question regarding this Cyclone Asna in your prelims and as well as mains. Okay, now let us see some details regarding this cyclone. Cyclone, it is a large scale system of air that rotates around the center of low pressure area. So when this low pressure area is formed, whenever there is high temperature, so water will be get evaporated and it will be forming the low pressure area. And according to PGF, that is pressure gradient force, always winds move from high pressure area towards low pressure area, and because of Coriolis force, the coiling of the movement of air will be circular, and especially due to this Coriolis force in the northern hemisphere, so the wind's movement will be there in anti-clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere it will be there in clockwise movement. So why? And even one more thing you have to remember is Coriolis force is maximum at poles and Coriolis force is zero at equator. So one of the conditions that is needed for the formation of this cyclones is Coriolis force is compulsory. So, but this Coriolis force is zero at equator. So, there is no formation of cyclones at equator. The main reason is Coriolis force. Okay, so these are the points that you have to know. And the cyclone forms around the low pressure area. It is called as depression. And around this, what happens? We will be seeing the rain bands. So, because of these rain bands, we can see the rainfall. Rainfall will happen because of this rain bands, and even above this eye, we can see a big cumulonimbus cloud will be there, which will be storing huge amount of water, and even continuous supply of moisture is very important for the development of this cumulonimbus clouds. And because of this cumulonimbus cloud that will be developed vertically, so it can cause heavy rainfall. Okay, so that is the thing you have to remember. And one more thing here is, so this is the diagram. So this part is I, where the depression is formed, and this is very calm area I. So around this I, the winds will be moving based on the origin where it had been originated, either in northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, and to this I we will be having the boundary, it is called as eye wall, and here we will be having this rain bands, and here we will be seeing this cumulonimbus clouds. Okay, so you have to know the namings of cyclone in the different regions of world. So in China and the Pacific Ocean, we will be calling it as typhoons. So here, these words you can get in your prelims. And next one is hurricanes in West Indian Islands and Caribbean Sea. And next one is tornadoes in Guinea Islands. And next one is willy willies in northwestern Australia, and tropical cyclones in this Indian Ocean. And in the cyclones, we have again two types of cyclones, tropical cyclones and extratropical cyclones. And you have to know exactly the difference between this tropical and extratropical cyclones as well. Okay, so see this article. Next one, Education Ministry asked Tamil Nadu to sign PM Shri MOU to get Samagra Shiksha funds. So here you have to focus on what is this PM Shri program. So recently regarding education, I think 2 days ago we discussed about New Literacy India program. So it is focusing on especially adult literacy above age of 15 years, and you already wrote answer regarding that. So here this program, it is also focusing on education. So try to write the heading education, and below this education try to do research and write down which are the schemes focusing on education in our country, and you have to see what are the objectives of that so and so scheme. Because whenever you are writing any essay regarding education or any answer regarding how to improve education or whatever the, or else you can directly get how government is taking steps to improve education in our country, directly you can list out. So there is no need of recalling everything. So everything will be there at one place so that you can write easily whenever you're getting any question. Clear? So do that work today. So if you see the context, it says that Union Education Minister, he urged Tamil Nadu to sign PM Shri MOU to assess the Samagra Shiksha funds. So if you want to get the Samagra Shiksha funds, you have to sign this PM Shri and you have to implement this PM Shri program in your state. So this is the thing which mainly said. And actually what is this PM Shri scheme is Pradhana Mantri Schools for Rising India. Pradhana Mantri Schools for Rising India scheme, and it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So what is a centrally sponsored scheme? So the funds will be divided between center and as well as state. So here Tamil Nadu, whenever it is accepting this MOU and if it is signing means even Tamil Nadu state government need to give funds for implementation of this PM Shri. So it is one cause of concern for Tamil Nadu. So what is the objective of this scheme here is government want to establish over 14,500 PM Shri schools. Okay, so that here they will be also having Kendriya Vidyalayas and as well as Navodaya Vidyalayas. Apart from this, they want to also establish this Shri schemes in the schools. Okay, and this scheme which is focusing on especially inclusive and welcoming atmosphere for every students, and they are focusing on well-being and also providing the rich learning environment, and they want to focus on even physical infrastructure and as well as appropriate resources to be given to all students. So physical infrastructure is nothing but laboratories or like proper school boards, okay, blackboards and chairs, proper toilet facilities, proper drinking water facilities. They are very essential. So they are focusing on that. And actually PM Street School, it is to nurture students in a manner that it will transform them to engaged and as well as productive and contributing citizens. And actually this PM Shri scheme, it is based on the our National Education Policy 2020, and they are focusing on equity in education, inclusivity and as well as pluralism. So what are the features of this scheme is, so this school will not only focuses on enhancing cognitive development, that is not only based on memory and academics, but they are focusing on holistic, that means all areas they are focusing, and they are focusing on getting the 21st century skills. So what are the skills need to be got by the students from this 21st century, they are going to incorporate them. So if you see the traditional education that we had like 25 years ago, so we used to just have rote learning, like we used to by heart whatever the topics which are there in the book, and we used to write them and we used to get marks. But now this 21st century skills we need. So even you can see the news is that 6 months baby, they are identifying about 3,000 animals, or they will be identifying like vegetables. So how the 6 months babies they can identify? And next one here is even 7 years boys, 7 years child, they are creating apps, websites. So how far? So they need advanced technology. So if you are getting that kind of technology or that kind of skills, then obviously India will be the top one developed country soon. So on this they are focusing on, and it is aligning with our Viksit Bharat 2047. Okay, and they are focusing on especially experimental, holistic, integrated, pay toil based schooling, and even discovery oriented, learner centric and as well as discussion based, flexible and enjoyable education. And they are also focusing on upgrading of labs, libraries, art rooms, etc. And they're also focusing on green schools so that they will be having a good environment in the schools. And they're also focusing on learning outcomes on each and every child in every grade. And they're also focusing on assessment based on conceptual understanding, application of that knowledge. Okay, and they will be also focusing on especially uh, measuring the key outcomes and as well as quality evaluation, regular intervals. So all these are they're focusing so that they will be getting the skills which is required in this 21st century. Okay, say this article, UCC, a small measure of justice for women, says Vice President. So what is this article talking about? Okay, what is this UCC? Uniform Civil Code. Okay, so which article talks about this? 40? 44, which comes under Fundamental Rights or DPSP? DPSP. Or this DPSP is enforceable in courts? They are not enforceable. But why we need this DPSP then? They are just giving directives to the government for policy implementation, etc. Okay, so what is this UCC? What is the meaning of UCC? Uniform Civil Code. It deals with what? Okay, marriages, divorce. Okay, despite of religion, each and everyone need to follow the same law. That is called as UCC. So which state had been implemented this recently? Uttarakhand. Apart from Uttarakhand, another state? Goa. So in India, Goa and Uttarakhand, there are two states, they had been implemented this UCC. So see this title, our Vice President is saying that UCC is a small measure of justice for women. So what it might be, what this ideas of this Vice President? Come on fast, time is running out. Okay, so we can ensure gender equality. Next. Okay, inheritance, law of inheritance. Next. Come on, next. You can do it. Divorce. Next. Okay, next. Women's safety. Okay, next. Online students, YouTube students. Next. Okay, so we want implementation throughout our country. Next. Okay, let us see what are the arguments of our Vice President. So our Vice President emphasized about the need of uniform civil code as a small measure of justice for women during his speech in Delhi University Bharati College. So he went to college, and in that college speech he said about UCC. So now let us take some takeaways from his speech. So first one is UCC is a symbol of justice. UCC is proposed as a foundational step towards ensuring equal rights for women so that we can enhance gender equal society. And even if you're seeing from one community to another community, like Hindu, Christians, Parsis, or anyone, so whenever we are moving from one community to another community, the laws are changing. In some Hindu code or in some areas or in some communities, child marriage is not a sin, but in some they are not allowing child marriages. So do you know about child marriages? So before age of 14, when we are going for, sorry, before age of what? 18 years. So the minimum age is for women for getting married is 18. But even recently Himachal Pradesh increased that age to 18 to 21. So whenever we are going for child marriage, it is having impact on individual, society, and as well as at the national level. So we have to control that. So here, to eliminate gender-based discrimination and to provide women with legal protections, we are coming up with this UCC. So this is UCC is very, very advantageous. And this one is even culture reflection on safety. So in any culture, if we are not providing safety for women, can we call it as a civilized culture? No. So in uncivilized culture, so there will be no protection of women. So because of this, if we want to showcase to the world that we are civilized society, we need to protect the rights of women. So for this also, this UCC will be very helpful. And next one here is national call to action. So here our president is also calling against violence. So recently our president's speech we discussed like safety of women, enough is enough. So here our president is also focusing on importance of societal involvement and even to combat violence, and even we have to focus on providing safer environment for women. And even we came with the zero tolerance policy. So what is the zero tolerance policy? If there is any crime which against women had happened, so we are not going to tolerate. Okay, so for this zero tolerance policy also we need to have this kind of UCC. And next one here is we need to come up with this legislative reforms so that we can provide equal justice for women irrespective of which community they belongs to. And next one here is for gender equality, and if you want to show that India is progressing, so that for this we need to have this kind of UCC so that we can ensure societal advancements and as well as democratic integrity. And even we can get empowerment for women through legislations. So this is one example. Okay, so see this article. So do you know about this TV Somnathan? Regarding NLIP? Yes. So he is appointed as cabinet secretary, and if you are preparing for any other competitive examinations, you can get that questions. Okay, so see this article, migrant workers beaten to death, another injured by cow vigilance in Haryana. So here, what is this article? So whenever you are writing about the problems of migrant workers, you can use this article as a case study. Okay, and next see here, core sectors grew 6.1% in July. So what are these core sectors? So how many times I say the mnemonic? How many of you remember? Okay, funds, C. Okay, what is this funds? C. Funds, 3 C's. Fertilizer, electricity, refineries, natural gas, steel, coal, crude oil and cement. Okay, so these are the 8 sectors in your core sector, and you have to see which sector is performing, why, what are the reasons behind this underperforming or good performance. Okay, so that is the thing you have to see. And yesterday I said about this topic, right, bio E3 policy. So actually bio E3 policy is nothing but biotechnology for 3 E's. First one is economy, next one is environment, next one is employment. Okay, so here you have to understand how biotechnology is helpful for our economy promotion and how it is helpful for environmental sustainability and how it is going to create employment. Clear? So recently our Union Cabinet cleared the proposal for biotechnology based manufacturing, which is called as BioE3, that is biotechnology for economy, environment and employment. So this is the policy which got recently cleared the proposal from our Union Cabinet. So here you have to know about what is the meaning of high performance biomanufacturing. So high performance biomanufacturing, it is ability to produce products from medicine to materials. From medicine to materials, we can do anything processing, and we can address farming related challenges and as well as food challenges, and we can also promote manufacturing of bio-based products through integration of advanced biotechnological process. So this is the meaning of high performance biomanufacturing. And actually to address our national priorities, so this bio E3 project will be very helpful because it is focusing on high value bio-based chemicals like biopolymers and enzymes, because biopolymers are very important because we are having a problem of plastic pollution. To curtail that, we need to have this biopolymers. And this one is to produce smart proteins and as well as functional foods also, it is very important. And especially precision biotherapeutics, that means therapy means nothing but treatment. So for treatment of diseases also we need targeted medicine. So for that production of the target medicines also it is very useful. And even climate resilient agriculture, carbon capture and its utilization, and regarding marine and space research. So these are the areas where we can use this bio E3 policy. Now tell me, what is the significance? It will accelerate technology development in our country, and even we can go for increased commercialization of biomanufacturing, and India can become bio AI hubs and as well as bio foundry. And we can also prioritize regenerative bioeconomy models, and we can also come up with the green growth, and even we can improve the skill of workforce which is required for this biotechnology, and we can also create more number of jobs. And next one is, this policy will be helpful for India's initiatives of carbon neutrality or net zero by 2070, and even our Prime Minister came up with this concept of life for environment. So for this achieving of this lifestyle for environment also it is very important, and we can accelerate the green growth and we can promote circular bioeconomy. And it will also helpful for more sustainable, innovative, and we can also we can also give as soon as response to the bio challenges or global challenges, and it will be also lays down a basement for bio vision for Viksit Bharat. Okay, so these are the advantages, and you have to focus on examples of this bio E3. That's it. So these are the important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and if you really like this class, hit the like button and please do share this class, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods Academy.